I'm actually really, I have a really weird theory that I think that I get to be more myself, and I think people are more themselves in relationships. And a lot of people sometimes disagree with me on this, but the reason why I say this is because when I'm in a relationship, like, you know how you have like the little voices, like the little jokes you have with your spouse, like you do little things that
Yeah.
you would never let out to other people, or like let other people see.
Ah, okay.
You're more of your true self, and because of that, I've always fallen into like uh, like my creativity, and I think that a lot of my creativity comes from me being in relationships and being safe with being in my creativity, like being safe with expressing how I really feel about myself, no matter what other people think. Whenever I'm single, I'm constantly trying to do what other people like. I'm constantly trying to look how people want me to look, girls or men or whatever. Like I'm trying to, always impress other people because I'm trying to get in a relationship, or I'm trying to get something, and but when I'm in a relationship, I'm the opposite. I'm very extrovert. I'm very introvert. I'm very just to myself. Like I don't need any other approval from other people or anything. It's just me and my girl and against the world. But I'm the opposite of that. I'm an extrovert when I'm out, when I'm single. I'm outside. I'm partying. I'm doing the most all the time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I like myself in a relationship. So that's why I like being in relationships. I'm way more comfortable in them.
That's interesting. I mean, I hear what you're saying. It definitely is two different energies.
Yeah,
You have a different energy when you're single versus the energy when you're in a relationship, and you're
completely.
doing different things. And I hear what you're saying too. Of like, yeah, you're kind of like in attraction mode. You're doing things to attract people to you. However, there's a fine line between what happens when you get into a relationship and you want to be yourself and be all comfortable versus you're not trying as hard, but if you don't do that, you could lose the relationship.
True.
So
Yeah.
you shouldn't be, and this is what happens. We get comfortable, we get into relationships.
Very true.
It's like, oh, as guys, right? Oh, we got the girl, we're good. Look,
Yep.
we don't need to do anything anymore. Now we can slowly start being maybe the person who I wasn't when
A
we were
little bit more of a
dating.
beta. Can I do
A
this?
little bit more of a beta, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to fall into that trap
Yeah. No.
because I actually believe that one of the reasons why divorces happen is because people fall into that trap. They
Yeah.
get too comfortable. They don't try anymore,
Mhm.
and that's why people say in relationships like, "Oh, how come you never do this like you used to do?" It's like because you don't think you need to do it anymore because they're there. You're married. They're not going to divorce me. They love me. We're together. But it
I,
it
I,
can slowly
yeah.
fade.
I always say I'm very privileged in my relationship. Like I also like something that nobody likes to talk about online, but I ain't scared to fucking talk about it. Hey, baby, somebody else is here. Um, Here, you want to take my phone for just in case? But like I'm not scared to talk about like crying in relationships and stuff. Do I think 99% of guys should do it? Hell no. Hell no. But I think I have the privilege to do it because I earn more than most guys. I'm better at doing certain things. Like if you're a really good relationship guy, if you're just fucking incredible at relationships, or you make a lot of money, if you're a really good provider, the women are just less likely to leave you over certain things because it's just like, well, he's still really good, or he's crying because of a relation or because of a family issue. It's not because of money or anything like that. It's because of things that that he's dealing with that's been going on for most of his life or something.
Yeah.
Like there's, but is that a privilege that I have that most guys don't? Yes. Like I think 99% of guys cannot do that. Like it will ruin their relationship. But I think once you like if you're a multimillionaire, I think you get a little bit more privilege than the other guys, and it's because you're the multi.
Well,
It's just like how like those guys can also have options or like exercise options sometimes. Like you just get more leverage the more money you have or the more good you
status.
are. Yeah, the more status or something. But yeah, I really like being myself, and that's probably came with the fact that I've always had a little bit of status in the city, or I've always had a little bit more money than other people, and that's the only reason why I've been able to get advantages like that.
Yeah, you just got to be careful with what kind of vulnerability it is that you're showing to your relationship. And it's interesting. I never really thought about that before, but that does make sense. If you are a person who has more status, you could get away with a little bit more in terms of, I don't know, messing up somewhere of vulnerability because
Yeah,
women are still going to be attracted to that status that you might have.
it's all about how many how many of your stat bars are really up, because like if it was like a video game, your stamina, your strength, all that. Like if you got a lot of your stats up, it's really hard for a woman to leave you. It's just like I said, like the guys that like to have options. It's like it's really hard for the women to leave sometimes when they got every stat bar all the way to the top. I think it's the same for like almost everything when it comes to that. When you have a guy that has all those stats that high, it's really hard to leave him. Just because he cried about something from like 5 years ago with his father or something. Like it's just not that big of a deal. Um, I want to know what do you think is the number one challenge you see guys chasing or play or going through right now with trying to get girls? Like, what do you the number one?
Probably online dating, I would say, because everyone is online, and that's the most common way to meet women. They're going online, they're setting up a profile, and they might even be a pretty decent looking dude, and then nothing happens. So they don't get any dates, they don't get any matches, and they're a total catch.
Yeah.
And so that's happening with a lot of guys. So I'd say that's probably the hardest thing right now is that. If you ask me like what was it 10 years ago, I would say, oh, it's really hard to approach a woman because it can be very scary and it's not easy. That still is a problem today, but it's not the biggest problem because of all the online dating that we're doing.
Yeah, it's so sad. This is why I preach so hard against it. See, whenever I first joined FNF Dallas, one of the big things I would argue against the guys that were online dating all the time was like, what's y'all's returns? Like 1 in 100, 1 in 10. Like how many girls are y'all actually getting from y'all's online stuff? And it's like, well, I can tell y'all right now, based on my social circle game, based off doing stuff in real life, I'm like 1 in 5. Like if I like, I'm very good, and the reason why is because it's like it's already a sealed deal before I even walk up to a girl. Like I already know based off if they looked at me or if they're friends with one of my friends or something. Like I can already know. Like I have a very high chance of like it working out because of how my game works. Like I don't like it going into a game where my numbers are 1 in 10 or 1 in 100. That's why I don't do online dating. I don't do anything like that because it's like I can get y'all way better numbers if y'all only do real life stuff. If y'all only build up a social circle of women and that pre-selection
Yeah.
kicks in and you look safe because of it. So many men just look unsafe today. So many. Like I talk to girls all the time on this panel. Most guys are invisible for multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons is you look unsafe. Like I don't like there's like the way they talk, the way they dress, everything about them just makes them look like somebody that could be a rapist or something. So it's just like I think a lot of guys they just cut themselves out based off of how they dress, how they look. They can't talk in real life. They don't know how to just be normal. And like you were kind of saying, like how you're saying that it's just white noise when guys act normal. One of the big things I teach is do the opposite of what's normal. Friend zone the girl. Like make her like treat her like she's your best buddy, and she's gonna be like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Like that's not what all these other guys, these 99 other guys, have been doing. Why is this guy treating me like
Right.
this? If
Or
anything,
if you're trying to attract or tease or disagree with them,
oh, dude,
be polarizing.
I've had girls that because I friend zoned them, they end up sleeping with me. Like because I friend zoned
Yeah.
you, it actually made you want me more. And so like I,
Yeah,
I
because
you
they
can't have it. You want what you can't have.
yes, and you weren't showing any kind of desperation. You weren't trying too hard,
Yeah.
and they were like, "What? Why doesn't he like me?"
Yeah. That's why online dating really bothers me because I can't play any of those games. There's none of those games that you can play
Yeah,
online.
there's only one game, and it's get that profile as best as you can. But you
Yeah.
need to be doing both.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to spread your yeah.
You need to be doing both.
Spread your net.
Is you want to say spread your seed?
Yeah, I almost did. I almost did. You're right.
You need to be doing both because that's the way you're going to get the most volume, right? If you are putting a great profile online and you're going out and meeting women and you're doing social circle, then you're going to have more options
Shit,
than you know
yeah.
what to do with.
So many.
But if you don't know what you're doing, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.